अली एक्चुअली हम मिले थे किसी कास्टिंग ऑफिस में. आई हैड in fact completely disregarded him because I thought he's juvenile, there won't be any meeting of the minds. आज की हीरोइन को देख लो, ये घूंघट पकड़ने में ऐसा पंजा निकाल के आते हैं तो समझ में आ जाता है कि इनको कुछ नहीं आता. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो नो वन केयर्स व्हाट स्ट्रेंजर्स थिंक अबाउट यू, योर इक्वेशन, योर
Absolutely.
पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, योर हस्बैंड.
Hello to everyone watching. Today we have with us a guest who I'm so excited to interview, Richa Chadha. Hi, welcome to the show.
थैंक्स प्रतीक्षा.
सबसे पहले हम स्टार्ट करते हैं फ्रॉम यू ग्रोइंग अप दिल्ली में. यू स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ योर चाइल्डहुड और आपका एक जॉइंट फैमिली में आई थिंक बचपन बीता है काफ़ी हद तक. सो हाउ हैज़ दैट अफेक्टेड हु यू हैव बिकम एज अ पर्सन?
जिस फैमिली सेटअप में लोग बड़े होते हैं ऑब्वियसली it leaves an impression on who we become later in life. But for me, I think the big thing was that I grew up with 4 brothers, um, like 1 real brother and 3 cousin brothers. So there was a lot of there was never any awkwardness around boys for that reason. उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ा. I think मेरे दिमाग में कभी ये नहीं था कि I can't do something because I'm a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also grew up in a village around all my male cousins और उस चक्कर में we used to play like kabaddi together, so there
Yeah.
was no difference कि ये नहीं कर सकते वो नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you spend time in the countryside, कहीं आप गांव या किसी बुआ के गांव चले गए, वहाँ पे ट्यूबवेल है तो सब लोग साथ में you're bathing, you're chilling, you're going in the fields. तो वो बचपन बहुत ज़रूरी है. I think अच्छा बीतना.
I think स्कूल में आने के बाद is when I realized that there's different teams for boys and girls. उससे पहले तो everyone was just playing together. There was no distinction as such.
राइट. आई थिंक वो, हाँ, स्कूल वाले भी आपको याद दिलाते हैं ना कि वो स्कर्ट हैज़ टू बी 1 इंच अबव द नी, सॉक्स हैव टू बी पुल्ड अप. तो ये सारी चीज़ें व्हेन यू आर 12 13 यू स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग. नाउ आई एम ग्रोइंग अप
Yeah.
सैडली.
तो while you were growing up, आपका सिनेमा से या मे बी बॉलीवुड इन स्पेसिफिक उसका इंट्रोडक्शन क्या था?
आई थिंक मैं जब एक दिन माय दादाजी वाज बेबी सिटिंग मी और टीवी पे मतलब VHS पे वो सौदागर या कुछ देख रहे थे, या टीवी पे आई थिंक चित्रहार पे गाने आ रहे थे. आई वाज वेरी यंग, मतलब मे बी इन अपर केजी और समथिंग. एंड मैं देख रही थी कि ओ इनको कितना मज़ा आ रहा है. फिर मुझे लगता था कि ये लोग तो सुबह उठ के बस गाना गाते हैं और डांस करते हैं, एंड देन दिस इज़ अ जॉब एंड दे आर ऑल लाफिंग, दे आर ऑल हैविंग फन. Then I decided, okay, I also must become an actor because it looks like the most fun job. और उसके बाद मैंने थोड़ा अलग अलग तरह के सिनेमास को देखना शुरू किया. माई मदर वॉज अ बिग इन्फ्लुएंस. वो दिल्ली में एक ओपन एयर थिएटर होता था, फलकनुमा, इन प्रगति मैदान. सो दे यूज टू प्ले अमेजिंग फिल्म्स ऑन संडेज. कुछ श्याम बेनेगल की फिल्में. संडेज को रीजनल फिल्म के नाम पे डीडी पे दे यूज टू बी लाइक नाइस अदूर गोपालकृष्णन टाइप फिल्म्स. तो वो मुझे लगता है कि इस फिल्म में इतना साइलेंस क्यों है, इसमें कोई शोर नहीं है, इसमें कोई म्यूजिक नहीं है, इसमें कोई ट्रैक नहीं चल रहा है, उसमें कोई कैमरा में देख के ऐसे आंख नहीं मार रहा है कादर खान स्टाइल. सो आई अंडरस्टूड कि बहुत तरह के सिनेमा होते हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड, वेरी क्विक अर्ली लर्निंग फॉर मी, थैंक्स टू माय पेरेंट्स, वेरी कल्चर्ड पेरेंट्स.
I would say same. My father doesn't watch cinema much, but my mother is a huge fan of Bollywood. मतलब even as an entertainment journalist, I think I know less than her. So बचपन में when I watched films like Ankur, they didn't make any sense to me. But as cinema,
Yeah.
it's just nice to look at also, just as films.
It's nice to look at. It's also different. मतलब I remember जब मैं बहुत छोटी थी, I watched त्रिकाल, which is again another fantastic film जिसमें हालांकि वो गोवा और इंडिया की लड़ाई के ऊपर बेस्ड था, एंड अबाउट दिस कम्युनिटी यू नो that is surrounded on all sides. There are few scenes in there which were really horrific, horror का जो मतलब है, जो bloodshed का मतलब है, वो मुझे ये तमस या त्रिकाल या गरम हवा ये सब देख के समझ में आया. Thankfully I had access to those things.
So after that, at what point did you think you'll have to shift to Mumbai? I think around 2007 is when you
Yeah,
shifted.
So I wanted to do my postgrad after St. Stephen's. I moved here to do my postgrad at Sophia College. They have a really good program for cinema studies, journalism. I still highly recommend it to anyone who wants to be like, even as an actor, I think it has really benefited me to have studied all that. In fact, that's that 1 year of my education I really enjoyed the most. I started living with this friend of mine who was studying screenplay writing at FTII. Um, एक तरह से फ़ायदा हो गया है कैसी फ़िल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ी लड़की के साथ फ्लैट शेयर करने का, बिकॉज़ ऑफ कोर्स एक्सपेंसेस हाफ़ हो जाते हैं, बट यू आर इन द सर्कल, यू नो, आपको पता चलता है कोई ऑडिशन कर रहा है, कोई कुछ लिख रहा है, तो यू आर इन द सर्कल विद लाइक स्ट्रगलिंग एक्टर्स, थिएटर फ्रेंड्स, यू आर वॉचिंग कूल थिंग्स, कोई डीवीडी बर्न करके दे रहा है कि स्टडी दिस. So that phase was very nice, I think, of my struggle also.
So auditions की बात, since you're saying, what was your first audition? Do you remember like your very first audition?
I think one of my, I think Devdi or something right after college and Oi Lucky. Around the same time, I auditioned for both these things, and I was simultaneously working on a play. College खत्म हो चुका था, internship खत्म हो चुकी थी. My guru Barry John had moved to Bombay, so he was working on a play called Baghdad Ka Ghulam. दैट इज़ अ प्ले जो 1988 में कभी, मतलब वो थिएटर सर्कल में फेमस था प्ले, क्योंकि वो शाहरुख खान ने किया था अपने DU डेज में. तो वो इट्स लाइक अ लकी प्ले, स्पेशल प्ले, व्हाटएवर. सो उसमें आई गॉट अ चांस टू एक्ट एज द लीड इन दैट. और कन्नू बहल जो कि दिबाकर के असिस्टेंट थे, उन्होंने वो शो देखा और फिर उन्होंने बोला कि ये लड़की को हम ट्राई करते हैं, लेट्स ऑडिशन हर फॉर ओए लकी, और मेरे को फिल्म मिल गई. सो देन आई वाज रियली हैप्पी, बट यू आर वेरी नाइव एट दैट एज. आपको पता नहीं होता. व्हेन आई डिड ओए लकी आई थॉट आई हैव अराइव्ड नाउ, एवरीवन इज जस्ट गोना कॉल मी एंड दे विल बी लाइक ये फिल्म है, एंड देन आई विल बी सो बिजी एंड लाइक आई एम सॉर्टेड फॉर लाइफ. दैट्स एक्चुअली आई कॉल्ड पीपल एंड सेड आई हैव मेड इट, आई एम गुड नाउ.
हो गया अब तो.
हाँ, अब तो हो गया. लिटिल डिड आई नो. बट या मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ whoever was watching this कि कभी भी होता नहीं है. I don't think कभी भी ऐसा होता है कि हो गया. Well, you can coast on some success and then, but you have to constantly try to do things to break the clutter or break out of like a stereotype box.
गैंग्स ऑफ वसेपुर की बात कर रहे हैं, तो द रोल ऑफ नगमा खातून, राइट? हाउ डिड यू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट रोल?
I really prepared for that role actually because it was so difficult, and I didn't have to audition for the role because I had auditioned for Devdi. I don't know what Anurag saw at that point, but मुझे ऐसा लगता है, और मुझे ऐसा बताया भी गया कि मुझे सिर्फ वो रोल इसलिए मिला क्योंकि कुछ 2-3 बड़ी एक्ट्रेसेस ने या people who doing well at the time said no to that part. And in retrospect, I don't know कि अगर मुझे पता होता कि इंडस्ट्री इस तरह से एक्टर्स को देखती है and they like to box you, I don't know if I would have taken that risk, but अच्छा हुआ that I didn't know how myopic casting can be in the film industry, that I agreed to take that risk. And for me, it was not out of the usual because सभी लोग एज कर रहे थे, स्टोरी प्रोग्रेस कर रही थी ना, तो कोई कैसे मतलब अछूता रह जाएगा. By the vagaries of time, something is gonna happen. So for the prep of that, again, theatre has really been like my crutch in my acting career. I cannot stress enough to young actors, aspiring actors, the need to do theatre just to learn teamwork, discipline, uh, just get acquainted with material, character work, literature. उस टाइम पे मैं एक प्ले कर रही थी जो कि एक म्यूजिकल प्ले था, directed by Khalid Muhammad, the famous film critic and director. He is making a play called Kennedy Bridge on his own childhood and his relationship with a courtesan in, like, I guess 60s, 70s Bombay, and around the Grand Road, Kennedy Bridge area. तो उसमें मुझे I had to go from playing an 18-year-old girl who, you know, gets sucked into circumstances and then becomes like a 50-60-year-old lady. So again, in a weird way, I got to prep for that in the short duration, क्योंकि play में तो शुरू से एंड तक 2 ही घंटे का फ़र्क था, तो मुझे आवाज़, बॉडी लैंग्वेज, उस सब पे काम करने का मौका मिल गया उस टाइम पे. So when the film happened, I was actually very ready with the age transition. But yes, character work के तौर पे मैंने क्या किया, my mother's from Bihar, So I observed a lot of my nani's accent क्योंकि वो उस time उस period की भाषा बोलती थी अभी भी. Not really the dialect मगही, but जो भी उनकी आवाज़, उनके हिंदी में जो जो inflection आता था वो मैंने study किया. Then how would like a rural Muslim woman who's not educated, married off young to some guy older than her, how will she react? चार बच्चे होने के बाद क्या एक बॉडी लैंग्वेज कैसी हो जाती है, कैसे चलते हैं लोग, किस तरह का अबैंडन आता है अगर गुस्सा आता है तो व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन यू बिकम द मेट्रियार्क. दोस थिंग्स आई स्टडीड एंड आई वर्कड ऑन.
Understandable, because it's a huge cast. For every character to somehow have held their own is very impressive. I think that's my favorite thing about Gangs of Wasseypur is कि हर character became iconic.
Yeah.
It's, I think, very much kudos to the director also, but also to the actors' efforts that they've put in.
I want to say Zishan Kadri जो कि actually वासीपुर की बेल्ट से हैं. He's a writer. He also acted in the film. Uh, just his involvement and his inputs, I think, really made the authenticity ring true in the film. Because बाकी सब मेट्रो में अब रह रहे हैं, स्टूडियो है, वहाँ इंग्लिश लोग बोल रहे हैं, बट लाइक दैट बेल्ट, द फ्लेवर, कोयले का इलीगल काम. शुरू शुरू में गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर का एक ऑल्टरनेट टाइटल था कोल बाजारी. तो इस तरह की चीज़ें बहुत एक्साइटिंग थी. और मैं अभी भी न्यूज़ देख रही थी, अभी भी वहाँ चल रही है कोयले की तस्करी, भू माफिया, भूस्खलन, whatever. If you just Google these keywords, everything's going on. So yeah, but it was a great team. I think dream team actually. Neeraj Gewan was there, Varun Grover was there. So many people I worked with even later, like Pankaj Tripathi, all of those guys. Yeah.
You worked with Pankaj Tripathi a couple of times now, मतलब.
A fair bit, yeah.
Yeah. आप दोनों ने एक दूसरे का growth तो देखा ही होगा as actors, because all of these projects that you've worked in are comparatively very different from each other. Like Fukrey is not a Gangs of Wasseypur, right?
No. Fukrey is not a Gangs of Wasseypur. It's a Delhi film. मतलब मज़ेदार फिल्म है, बच्चों को पसंद आती है. It has ridiculous comedy. नहीं, Fukrey बहुत पसंद है मुझे. It's genuinely like it's a fun film. If I had to. I really, if I may say so myself, the third part is the best one yet. I think. Yeah.
But Fukrey again is a special film for several reasons. Naturally,
Yeah.
I have to ask this. Met Ali Fazal there.
Yeah.
How did this go from Fukrey to him now being your husband? Especially क्योंकि आपके ज़्यादा scenes नहीं है फिल्म में साथ में, if I'm not wrong.
Ali, actually हम मिले थे किसी casting office में, and I was, of course he's really attractive man, but that was not the first thing I saw or noticed about him. I had in fact completely disregarded him because I thought he's juvenile, there won't be any meeting of the minds. फिर क्या हुआ फुकरे में, when we all used to hang out, तो ये Chucha was always talking about food. Manjot was either on the phone with his girlfriend or eating. Pulkit was working out or shooting something. Only person I could actually converse with was Ali. And then sometimes Pankaj ji when he was shooting. So that's how I started to get to know him. Okay, oh, he's like kind of from the same planet. We have friends in theatre. Lots of common connections came out. Then we started hanging out, and just in a few years we were seeing each other. For the longest time, no one believed us even on the Fukrey set. But धीरे धीरे
विश्वास ही नहीं हुआ किसी को.
हाँ, मतलब विश्वास जैसा नहीं, but they were like, oh, how did you keep it under wraps like that?
And it's difficult in both being celebrities. Keeping this under wraps is, I would say, a feat.
I don't know why we kept it under wraps actually. I think हम Fukrey 2 या तो शूट कर रहे थे या ख़त्म कर रहे थे, और फिर हमें लगा कि लोगों को बताएंगे तो they'll be distracted और unnecessary teasing होगी. उसके लास्ट सीन में भोली को चूचे को किस करना था, तो I was just like, let's just finish this and then let's be professional and let's be Zafar and Bholi and then we'll tell people. So yeah, kind of that's how it unfolded.
I have been following you on Twitter for a while, I think. मतलब जब से मैंने account बनाया है, I think I followed a few celebrities, you being one of them, for the main reason that you have something to say.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you actually say something.
not anymore.
3 words. I checked that also. You have stuck
Yeah.
to that.
I'm just like, Because इतना वेटेज अगर मिलेगा 3 शब्दों में काम हो रहा है तो why waste more words? No? Let's be economical. So yeah,
You're right.
I've stuck to that for. It's been a while. I think 8-9 months. I've just been tweeting only three words.
Yeah. See, most of them is 3 words. 3 emojis also you tweeted once, I think.
That's just fun. I can go beyond in emojis, but words have been only 3.
But especially when it came to your relationship, it's an interfaith relationship. Everyone knew from the get go, and obviously reactions अच्छे obviously थे. There was also very like hateful reactions that come. Also because you're so vocal about things and people hate that. मजा ही नहीं आता लोगों को अगर कोई कुछ बोल रहा है तो. हाँ. But did that get easier after marriage or वही है अभी? The
No,
space.
First of all, so no one cares what strangers think about you, your equation,
Absolutely.
your point of view, your husband. Overall, I think इंडिया में बहुत एक WhatsApp uncle, WhatsApp auntie वाली जो feeling है कि नहीं इसका ऐसे क्यों? तो that we should all ignore. I really believe this falls in the same category कि सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. If you're not, if you're telling people, oh, live your life and slay on Instagram, you can't come on Twitter and just change your entire, like, you still have to live your life. Now, so I'm living my life. If it bothers people, it bothers them. It's their problem, not mine.
Naturally. But like
Yeah.
if अगर आपको फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है then it's not your problem. It's just them.
मुझे वैसे भी नहीं पड़ता फर्क. मुझे लगता है कि कभी कभी मुझे बताना पड़ता है लोगों को कि इस बार ज्यादा हो गया, अब फर्क पड़ना चाहिए. Touche. But I have great coping mechanisms.
Ali as an actor he's phenomenal. मैंने
Yeah.
at some film fest कोई हुआ था recently and I think it's called Astronaut and His Parrot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a short
yeah,
film
yeah.
that I watched and I was blown away by just the skill. Dialogues बहुत कम है उस film में, but just the fact that he is such a skilled actor, just
He's
in
a
general.
very skilled actor. Yeah, he works very hard. I really do, I believe in him so much that I want to cast him in something that totally juices his entire potential. Like he can do a variety of roles, which is my favorite thing about him actually. Like we both discuss it. I mean, I don't think we would have been in love if we didn't find each other talented. There's a little bit of that snobbery also. कि अच्छा एक्टर अच्छा नहीं होगा तो और कुछ नहीं होगा.
I can see where that's coming from. I get.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be able to converse also.
हाँ,
ना.
like you said, I mean, if you're with someone for such a long time, उनसे बात तो you should be able to do.
हाँ, और क्या? Yeah, you have to be able to talk. I never wanted to date a protein shake for a person. Not to say I have anything against protein shakes, but like पी लो पर और भी चीजें कर लो.
Facets, multifaceted personality.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
So working with Neeraj Khaiwan, someone whose films I genuinely admire. Again, ऐसे इंसान है जिनके पास कहने को कुछ है और वो उनकी फिल्मों में दिखता है.
Yeah.
So how was the experience of working with him as a director?
Oh, I think he was then a baby. He was the continuity person on Gangs. I never knew कि वो मुझे उस नज़र से देख रहा that he'll write something. But Neeraj, I think उसका point of view is getting more and more refined with every year. He's so genuine and so compassionate as a creator that he ends up becoming like the moral compass on any project that he works with. I'm really happy he's working with the likes of Zoe Akhtar and all now, people I really admire. He's doing Made in Heaven. I hope he makes his second film soon because Neeraj is a very exciting person to me. I love him.
Masan is a brilliant film. Like
it's unbelievable that it's a first film,
Yeah, for him and I think Vicky Kaushal also first film as a lead.
Yeah, Vicky's first film as a lead. Yeah.
Your performance in that film is, I would like if अगर एक word में बोलना हो would be powerful.
It is because she derives strength from her personal being. That she thinks that there's nothing wrong with exploring sexuality or exploring a better life or having ambition. At the same time, she knows her father's angry in a certain way. He's gonna hit her. She's gonna take that beating quietly. And it'll kill her and she'll want an escape route. उसका नाम देवी इसीलिए रखा था क्योंकि she was a multifaceted person. She had a full personality. She had desires. She had ambition. I think Varun and Neeraj work very, very well together. I hope Neeraj makes a second film soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Missing
I
it.
think he just needs to know how much people love him. I don't think he knows. Look at what a brilliant film he made with Konkana. Abhi.
Gili Pucci wala,
Yeah.
the short film, yeah. I think one of favorite shot ही है मेरा वो from the
Yeah.
entire anthology.
Exactly. Just very, very nicely done.
जब दो एक्टर्स साथ में रहते हैं, इवन इन लाइक नॉर्मल सिचुएशन जब आप एक एक्टर के साथ बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हो, यू डूइंग डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स, और वो प्रोजेक्ट्स आपको अफेक्ट भी डिफरेंट वेज में करते हैं. से इफ यू आर डूइंग अ रोल लाइक Sabji, then he is doing a comedy role. The how do you say, the experience you're going through at that point is very different, right? तो उसको आप कैसे navigate करते हो?
हम करते ही नहीं ना navigate. The transit between the set and the house वो वहाँ खत्म हो जाता है, वरना आप पागल हो जाओगे. I don't think that enough tools exist to get actors out of the spaces that they put themselves into, which are dark or terrible, lonely, depressive, manic depressive. So that's why I don't do any method. I don't think Ali also does method. We try things. We जिस चीज़ की प्रैक्टिस करनी है, अगर क्रचेस लगा के चलना है, उसकी प्रैक्टिस करनी है तो प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, बट कुछ काम घर में नहीं लेकर आते हैं.
Every time I watch your interviews that you do with people, one thing that strikes out to me a lot, sticks out more accurately, is जब आप बात करते हो पेट्रियार्की की and how it has affected everyone, वो जो conversations है, you have obviously had to learn and unlearn a lot yourself also, right? Just by being someone who is affected by the system.
I don't have to unlearn anything in that regard. That I never grew up believing that men are better in any way, because I wasn't taught that. Not at home with my own parents, not even with my brothers. Yeah. I did understand and question a few things. कि अच्छा घर पे कोई आता है तो why do my mom and my chachi first get up to feed them? But that was about the limit of the questioning. Beyond that, I grew up in a fairly egalitarian house, and I think having a daughter also makes people change and evolve.
Neeraj only has made a great shot about that called
Juice.
Juice. Yeah, a very effective, same themes pe that is based. Pretty
Yeah.
much exactly this,
Yeah.
of division of labor and
Yeah.
how.
He and I had a long chat about that short film also. एक बार कुछ मेरे घर पे कोई कुछ बात हुई थी तो I told him and he said yeah, see things move him, no, so he is able to make stuff that is nice.
I was watching your one mic stand wala episode once, and उसमें you say that you're an indie actor. Do you still believe that you're in the indie space?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I'm always going to be an indie actor in how I approach my work and in who I am. But I think that I why can't an indie artist have popular goals? So that's kind of where I am. I am an indie artist, but I have pop goals, and that's only because I want my work to be accessible. I want people to be able to watch it, laugh at it, enjoy with me.
So I think OTT के आने के बाद से that whole distinction जो था parallel cinema और pop cinema में has kind of blurred a little, I would say.
A little. It's blurred more in the minds of the audience than in the industry actually, because the industry still like अगर कोई मिड लेवल मेन स्ट्रीम रोमांटिक फिल्म आती है आजकल उसको काफ़ी पैकेज किया जाता है मैसेजिंग के साथ. मतलब ऑलमोस्ट टू गेट अ नॉड ऑफ अप्रूवल फ्रॉम द रिव्यूअर्स उसको एक तरह से पैकेज किया जाता है कि ये एक मैसेज है इसमें, मतलब ओल्डर पीपल डोंट हैव टू बी asexual or you can be in love with a trans person, and I'm all for that messaging, but people are accepting a message if it's packaged with like comedy and like family stuff, then it becomes more palatable. तो अभी वो एक पूरा स्पेट आया था वैसी फिल्मों का.
Even messaging उसको ऐसे एक क्या कहते हैं मेन स्ट्रीम फिल्म के पैकेज में डालना पड़ता है, kind of again to make it palatable.
हाँ,
maybe
थोड़ा बहुत.
हाँ,
yeah.
message.
उपलक्ष्य नहीं होना चाहिए मैसेज देना, मुझे तो नहीं लगता.
Talking about content, your production house has started. Your first maiden production is also on its way.
Yeah.
आपने कोई डिटेल ज़्यादा तो बताए नहीं है about Girls Will Be Girls, but are you feeling particularly sherry today?
I'm very proud of it as a first feature. My friend Shubchi Talati has written it and directed it. उसको काफ़ी सारे लैब्स और ग्रांट्स से ऑलरेडी नवाजा गया है, तो मुझे उस स्क्रिप्ट में बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस है। मुझे लगता है केयरफुली कंसिडर्ड, थॉटफुली रिटन स्क्रिप्ट है। और my whole endeavor was to get into something like that. That should be the first, so that people also know we are setting a benchmark. So that's about it.
Excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm also excited to show it to people.
While the shooting for this was going on, आपने वो एक venture I would say started Undercurrent Labs, right?
जी,
Who's
venture
leading-
तो नहीं, it was like a social impact program.
right
Hmm.
for upskilling I would say of
Or just killing
Technical
actually.
aspects.
In gaffers, there are very, very, very few females. There's one exemplary woman whose father also was a gaffer. हेतल डेडिया. We first wanted an all female crew. तो हमने देखा कि थे ही नहीं, तो फिर हमने we incubated and trained about 10 girls, and we had applied for a grant also for this from Berlinale, which we won. And hopefully in the second season we will have more women. It brings me a lot of joy to say that two of these girls are still, like, one of them was hired on the sets of Girls Will Be Girls. Another one I recently shot something with Sony Liv. She was on the gapping team. So it's nice, you know, it's nice to see quickly the impact that one of your ideas is having in the real.
all female crew देखना is not very common I would assume.
It's not common, and even we couldn't actually achieve it, like I said, because gaffers, light grips, spot department, costume assistants, बहुत जगह ऐसी थी that we needed men and women, and nothing against men and women. It's just we were trying to create more gender parity. So I would say we had a 70-30 or an 80-20 unit for Girls Will Be Girls. But I think going forward, a lot of sets are going to change as more women get into direction, production, राइटिंग में तो है ही, डीओपीज बन रही हैं औरतें, तो फिर वो अपने आप थोड़ा सा एक बैलेंस अचीव हो जाएगा. बहुत बार लड़कियों को ही बताना पड़ता है कि वो बोलती हैं कि मैं ग्रिप्स में कैसे इक्विपमेंट कैसे उठाऊंगी. बहुत सारी लड़कियां जिन्होंने अप्लाई किया था, दे वुड थिंक दैट ग्रिप्स इज लाइक मैनुअल लेबर, विच इज़ नॉट द केस. इंटरनेशनली इफ़ यू ट्रैवल, औरतें ट्रक में खुद लोड करती हैं, लाइट वाइट रखती हैं, ड्राइव करती हैं, लेके जाती हैं, सेटअप करती हैं, ग्रिप्स उठाती हैं. एंड like we had two girls who were from a tribal background in Chhattisgarh MP belt. वहाँ से आई थी for the training program. तो I think it was great to have that diversity in our group also, because the city girls were like, ये हम उठाएंगे. तो वो लड़कियाँ बताती थी हम इतना दूर दूर पानी भरने के लिए तो जाते हैं या घर में काम करते हैं, तो हम चीज़ें उठाते ही हैं, तो why that notion कि हमसे नहीं उठेगा. नहीं उठेगा तो देखेंगे ना, पहले ट्राई तो करो.
Women are no stranger to physical labor of
Not
any
at all.
kind.
It's just I don't know, it's a presumption that it's not possible. It's in our society, na? Like if I, even at home when I'm doing something and I'm moving something, my driver is like, नहीं नहीं आप रहने दो. क्यों भाई, क्यों रहने दें?
Internalizing ही है कि if they kind of if they अगर सुनते रहेंगे कि अच्छा रहने दो, नहीं कर पाओगे, then at some point you start kind of doubting yourself also.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's really like that PT teacher who lets you sit out in the PT period because you say मेरे पेट में दर्द है, बस. Starts there actually. Yeah.
Talking about your upcoming projects, Heeramandi, again very excited.
I'm also excited. I've done new things in it. Let's see.
New things जैसे
New things जैसे मैं बहुत ज़्यादा I've not done the very like tragic heroine part or love lorn woman seeped in like poetry, alcohol, depression, also in love, trying to find a way out, that kind of thing. Full lip sync song and all that. So suddenly to go from doing indies to do like one Bhansali song is a lot, but I hope I've managed to do something there. Let's see what happens.
How is working with Sanjay Leela Bhansali? You पहले भी I think रामलीला के time पे Sanjay Leela Bhansali
You must
का
have
काम
liked what I did. That's why he called me that. I mean, I love working with that guy. All the things that are said about him, that he has a temper, blah blah. I'm sure, but that's the thing. If you had so many crows riding on your set and you saw nincompoops around you, I mean, you might yell at them once in a while. I mean, I don't know. So I feel differently. I mean, I don't mean by if other actors have shared traumatic experiences, that's not what I mean. But what I like about him is that he it scares me if I don't deliver. Like I have palpitations before a shot with him because आप cheat नहीं कर सकते उनको. And he has a very high standard. He will say, can you rotate and then flip your head back, drink at this point, pause, look at yourself before you deliver this dialogue. And you're like, okay, these are all the 10 things I have to do in the next 3 seconds. And he's like, yeah, and then you're lying. So then for me, I'm excited to work with a director like that who challenges me every step of the way. And it can throw you off. And sometimes, like when I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, I got to do a Bhansali song. I wish that the costume wasn't so heavy. Then maybe I could have taken 2 more chakkars or something. But then I think, okay, it is a Bhansali song. Hence, the costume is heavy because he's not gonna cheat even there. It's gonna be full on everything. So yeah, that's the thing. I really loved working on this one. He and I jam very well. हमारी बहुत अच्छी एक ट्यूनिंग है.
You हर एक डिटेल पे ध्यान देते हैं वो, लाइक सिर पीछे कब करना है, व्हेन यू हैव टू टर्न एंड
हाँ, एक कमर्शियल सिनेमा, सॉरी टू से, बट ये हम इंडिपेंडेंट एक्टर्स और हम सब लोग FTI NSD के एक्टर्स कई बार जो कमर्शियल सिनेमा कितना मुश्किल है वो भूल जाते हैं. इट्स नॉट ईजी टू इमोट टू कैमरा while doing a lip sync song. You have to manage your expression and catch the light and still convey something. और ऑडियंस में थोड़ा झूमने वाला कुछ एक नशा छोड़ना है, वो सारी चीज़ें आसान नहीं है. उसका एक अपना रिदम, एक अपनी बीट है. अगर आसान होती तो आप आज की हीरोइन को देख लो जो अभी डांस कर रही हैं, जिनको ना कोई क्लासिकल डांस आता है ना जैज आता है, बस बॉलीवुड के नाम पे रील्स में जो जो ट्रेंड कर रहा है, दे नो दैट मच. Look at those performances where people, you feel like they're half-hearted in what they're doing. They may be, their bodies must be looking nice and they must like doing whatever the choreographer asks them to do, but they are not Vaijayanti Mala, they are not Wahida Rahman, they are not Jaya Bachchan, they are not Nargis, they are not Madhubala. You cannot do what they have done. I don't see anyone in commercial cinema um, today that can do what actresses have done. वो एक घूंघट पकड़ने में ऐसा पंजा निकाल के आते हैं तो समझ में आ जाता है कि इनको कुछ नहीं आता. एक चक्कर लेने में ऐसे हाथ खोल देते हैं. इट लुक्स awful to me, like as a person who has a classical training, it bothers me no end. ये वो चीज़ है जिसमें दूर से कोई स्केल फेंक के मारता था ना टीचर, वो वाली गलतियाँ हैं. तो आप कहाँ तक करेक्ट करोगे? मुझे आजकल के ठंडे यूं यूं करने वाले कोई चाहिए ही नहीं. बहुत ही so bad, so bad. Sometimes I think when you're so bad, is it like false confidence and you're like slay queen? What are you slaying? Can you spell slay? What are you saying? What are you doing? You look dumb. So that's the thing. I want confidence. अच्छी बात है, पर confidence अगर किसी चीज़ पे based हो ना तो कितना अच्छा लगता है.
Thank you, Richa, for joining us today. Very excited for what's to come, your projects, next film, shots, whatever.
Thank you. Thanks, Pratiksha. This has been lovely. Thank you.